President Trump arrives in Manila, the capital of the Philippines, today, the last stop in his Southeast Asia trip. There, he'll meet with another unconventional president, reviled internationally by some, but extremely popular at home, despite his radical tactics. In some ways, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte is like President Trump. Both rose through populist campaigns. There are, however, some key differences. For today's cover story, we travel to the Southeast Asian nation to examine some of the most bizarre politics in the world. A caution, some of the material is graphic.
Love him or hate him, Rodrigo Duterte is one president who's delivering on his biggest campaign promise: to crack down on drug crimes by targeting not only traffickers, but addicts, and killing them in cold blood. 3 months after he was elected last year, Duterte, a former prosecutor, compared himself to Hitler, with the distinction that his victims would be criminals.
Hitler massacred 3 million Jews. Now, there's a 3 million drug addicts. There are. I'd be happy to slaughter them.
Last May 2016, we had our elections, and the Filipino people elected President Rodrigo Duterte, who unfortunately has authoritarian tendencies, and who pledged during the campaign that he would kill 100,000 Filipinos.
Senator Antonio Fuentes Trianes is another product of the Philippines' bizarre politics.
Just keep on fighting. Hold on to your ideals.
In 2003, he attempted a coup against the allegedly corrupt president at the time. He was imprisoned, ran for the Senate from jail, and won. Today, he's one of the few members of Congress opposing President Duterte.
Is it true that the president has basically given the authority to citizens to shoot and gun down people if they're drug dealers?
Yes, he has done that several times publicly. He called for the police to kill suspects, the ordinary civilians to kill the sons or daughters of their neighbors or suspected users, and he even called on the migrant workers to come back home so that they can help in the purging of Philippine society.
How many people have been killed because they are drug users or drug pushers since Duterte has been elected?
By our own estimate and projections, it has exceeded 10,000 people killed already.
A new documentary, Duterte's Hell, depicts the brutal reality. Suspected drug dealers and users gunned down without trial.
It's not a dog, my son. It's not a dog or a pig to kill like them.
Congressman Gary Alejano has filed an impeachment complaint against President Duterte. Like Senator Trianes, he was in on that 2003 coup attempt, served time, and now serves in Congress.
Well, the basis of the impeachment complaint is that we have been opposing the policies of the president, especially on the issue of policy on killing or extrajudicial killing without going through due process of law and respect for human rights.
Is that popular here?
It depends on the propaganda of the president. He changed the definition of the rule of law, and he changed the definition of human rights. If you are a criminal, you're not anymore human, and you don't have human rights. So he is pursuing populist policies and programs using the government, and that is why he has high ratings.
High ratings most national leaders only dream of. During our summer visit, Duterte's popularity hit a stunning 82%. Needless to say, the whole impeachment idea hasn't gained much ground. Besides his brutal war on drugs, Duterte's popularity is also rooted in his tough stance against Islamic extremist terrorists.
Our national leadership is very aware of what is happening around the country, especially on the ISIS trying to create chaos.
General Lito Sobejana says with ISIS moving into the southern Philippines, President Duterte is doing what it takes to battle a savage enemy, including declaring martial law.
Do you think that's helping the security situation, the martial law?
It will definitely help us resolve this problem.
On the streets of Zamboanga in the Mindanao province, where there's martial law, we traveled with heavily armed protectors and found popular support for President Duterte.
What is your opinion of the president?
About the president, I think he is brave and he is really a capable president in this country.
Why do you say you think he's brave?
Because he stopped the drug here in our country.
You've seen a difference?
Yes, a lot of difference.
What is your opinion of President Duterte?
Well, he's a very good leader, aside from the past president.
What do you like about his leadership?
Strong and determined.
Strong and determined.
Yes.
Especially with what's happened.
Jose Cuisia was the Philippines' ambassador to the U.S. under the last president.
Are you more optimistic or pessimistic then about things under this president?
You know, it's very difficult to say because there have been certainly benefits or I would say very positive developments. Criminality has come down because of the fear precisely that's been instilled by the president, even among the criminals. There's been a big drop. But on the other hand, there's also concern that human rights violations are on the rise.
When it comes to the odd political dynamics in the Philippines, perhaps our strangest interview was with Congressman Harry Roque.
Is President Duterte a popular president? Is it too complicated of a story to tell in a word?
Well, I think Americans will have difficulty trying to understand why the president remains as widely popular as he is today. 82% approval rating, that's fantastic, no, as far as polling is concerned. And I think it's because he has shied away from the mold of a traditional politician who's sweet-talking, promising the heaven and earth. Here is a guy who is, you know, no pretension. He resorts to foul language. He doesn't care about niceties. And he's saying, I'm going to deliver. I'm going to clean up our streets. I'm going to make our communities safer. And to his credit, after a year, communities are safer. And that's why people are saying maybe he is the kind of leader that we have long waited for.
But while he considers President Duterte a friend and ally, in the same breath, he says the president may be held criminally liable for encouraging the street killings of drug criminals.
There are many people who are criticizing the president. What is your position on the criticisms that he's facing?
Warning the president that unless he investigates, prosecutes, and punishes the responsible individuals for the drug killings, that he himself may incur criminal responsibility pursuant to what is known as command responsibility, knowing that the crime is happening and not doing anything to investigate and prosecute these crimes.
Make sure I have it clear. Do you like President Duterte, and do you support President Duterte?
Yes. I like President Duterte, I support President Duterte, but, you know, within the framework of the rule of law and promotion of human rights. I think as a friend, I have warned him that he better start prosecuting and sending the killers to jail, because if he does not, he may end up in jail himself.
As if an exclamation point on the whole strange political dynamics in the Philippines, our last word with Senator Trillanes.
Mr. Duterte ordered a hit on me, and I confirmed that with at least 4 credible sources. He wants me killed, and but we just need to do what we have to do.
How come you don't have bodyguards around you all the time?
They're around.
Since our interview, Congressman Harry Roque has become the spokesperson for President Duterte. We reached out for comment on the allegation that the president put out a hit on Senator Trillanes and didn't receive a response.